Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, when I started to see my own kids applying to college, they were so inexperienced in writing about themselves, because so much of what you write and, all those years in college is like a 5 paragraph essay. So, you've read a book and you have to, provide the main point, supported in three supporting details, and then come to a conclusion. And in the college application process, in the you're asked by the common the who put the common app, what they give you a choice of like 5, 6, 7 questions that can change over time, and they ask you what is the one thing that we have to know, what is the one passion or one hobby that you could not live without, let's say. And a lot of kids are like, what? You know, like they just don't know how to answer that because they've never done it. And they also are petrified of the process because it's an important, everybody has to write this essay for most people if you're applying, to college. And my experience, I guess, as a poet and a writer telling stories, I thought was, really useful in working with high schoolers and kind of coaching their parents on what the kid might need or, might not need, and getting to know the kid because the kid might not have reflected on, well, what's the one thing that I can't live without, or what's the one obstacle I faced that changed my life around, and so I thought it was really interesting, and it was really, I'm always interested in people, and in a way, it's like, when I first meet with a student, I always ask them a few questions. Like sometimes I ask them, well, tell me how you would describe them yourselves, and then I might ask them how your teacher might describe you, and then I might ask how your friends would describe you. So I get a sense of, who they are as a person before, let's say they, unless they come in with what they have already written, but then, sometimes that also needs work. So, I think my skills as a writer, as an author, as a storyteller, and as a poet, because as a poet, I was able to sometimes, if kid was stuck, I might use some tricks, not tricks, but kind of exercises that I